Show, live from New York. It's the show that yearns to be recognized. It's first things first. Today, LeBron's biggest losses in his career. There it is, last night in Houston. Brew, are you worried about the 3-5 Lake Show?
Yes, because they're a LeBob team.
Oh.
Larry O'Brien or Buck.
Yeah, we got it.
That's what they are.
Well, actually, you know what? I'm glad you defined it because I'm not sure if the audience did know what that meant.
I'm sure most NBA fans know.
Oh, okay. It's well known. My bad.
So, and they look nothing like a contender right now. And here, the main problems are this. And just like I said, it didn't take a rocket scientist to say, you know what, Anthony Davis might not play the next game despite his assurances that he'll be ready on Wednesday. So the problem is this, Nick. He's missed on average 35 games each of the last 3 years, all right? And he's not old. He's 30, be 31 in March. But he's at the age where you don't generally get healthier. You know, you just kind of maintain your health for several years. So he's likely to miss a third of the season again. A quarter of the season, whatever. LeBron's missed on average 27 games in every season except the bubble year. And the bubble year, remember, you got the 3-4 month hiatus, whatever it was. And LeBron is old. As great as he's playing, he is old.
He's the oldest player in the league.
Your two best players are likely to miss roughly a quarter of the season. And so I don't know that they can sustain that, even if one of them's still healthy. Like last night showed you, they can't really beat a lot of teams or play significantly good basketball for a long stretch without either LeBron or Anthony Davis. They're the worst three-point shooting in the league, right? The team in the league right now.
The worst in the league.
And they'll get a little better, but they'll still be bottom 5, maybe bottom 10. And so they've got a lot of issues. They don't look particularly athletic.
Well, so, yeah, if
I
can jump in for a second, yes, they have a lot of problems. You absolutely should be worried about them.
Yeah.
They are dead last in the league in three-point percentage and second to last in makes. So it's they shoot them poorly and they don't shoot a lot of them. So you can argue maybe that's good they don't shoot a lot of them, but that's a hard way to win in 2023. They are, through 8 games, the worst first quarter team ever. Not an exaggeration. As far back, well, it says last 28 years, but that's just as far back as the data goes, guys. And Rachel said on Undisputed today that it's ever, so I'm going to trust her. We have it through 28 years. And look at the other teams on that list. The Grizzlies, who have been awful. The Hornets, who are awful. And the Lakers are way worse than either of them.
That's odd, considering that their plus-minus with LeBron is pretty good. Because he's obviously playing in the first quarter.
Correct. And so, and they right now have no ball handlers other than LeBron James that are playing well. None. Now, I believe Austin Reeves will play better. I know, Brew, you thought Wildes and I were a little too high on him.
He's a good player. But he's he was beginning to be viewed as like a budding star.
Oh, yeah, as a potential all-star is I think how he's beginning to be viewed. That certainly does not look like it is the case right now. But I do believe if he is a good player, which we all agree, he will play better because he has not played like a good player up to this point. D'Angelo Russell hasn't worked, and they've been hurt. And so here's my fear, Wildes, that we're like 2 weeks away from on this show once again being like, hey, I fiddled with the trade machine today.
Correct.
Like, I just want one normal year from this team.
But stay there. Because they made moves in the offseason that everybody liked.
Yeah, I know.
And I know they haven't been playing well without LeBron on the floor. But I got to be honest. I look at their roster. Now, they need some athleticism, but Jared Vanderbilt's out. That would bring athleticism. Other than that, I mean, they're not shooting well. You thought they could shoot.
Well,
I mean, Gabe Vincent, that's what they're supposed to be able to do. And so I look at the roster on paper, and I think they're a pretty good team, but they're not putting it together. I thought they were like a, second-tier contender in the West.
Right now, they don't look like it.
No, they.
Go ahead, Wildes.
Well, here's a quick stat. LeBron's last 5 years with AD, pretty good, 65% of your games. Without AD, just a 500
I'm actually shocked it's that high.
That much without AD.
I'm shocked that they win half the games without AD.
Yeah, I could see that.
I mean, again, I guess last 5 years I'm not sure.
Right,
Because LeBron 5 years, was playing at a higher
Then the other thing before we move on, because we're going to do a bunch of basketball topics in the A block. Do you guys just want to do anything else in the segment real quick, or
you said Dylan the villain would be great? He was not. He wasn't. We were watching the game from the Garden. Let me tell America something.
Locked in.
I was locked in on Wemby. You were locked in on your phone.
I was locked in on this game.
Wildes
Because I'm looking at the
locked
whole
in,
league.
and let me tell you exactly what happened.
Look at
Midway through the first quarter, Wildes was like, "Ooh, Dylan's already got 5." And then we asked you
Let's go.
later, we're like, "What's he got?" And you're like, "Still 5."
What, is he an offensive threat necessarily?
The stat
Or is he
you
the
put up
heart and soul
yesterday,
of the team?
Yeah,
the
you said
stat
he
you
was
put
a
up
scorer
yesterday was talking about
yesterday.
what a great shooter he was, Wildes.
Yeah, he does a little bit of everything.
Wildes, we're not giving you any credit on this.
You've got to be
You
kidding
think he
me.
locked LeBron up? LeBron had 18 in 27 minutes. That's not exactly.
I said that the
locking
Rockets
somebody
were
up.
going to win by 3
That
points.
one
and
get
you
credit
guys,
for.
you guys started
We didn't
laughing
know
at
Anthony
me.
Davis
and
wasn't going to play.
Of course you knew Anthony Davis
No, I
wasn't going to play.
didn't know. The
Anthony
Lakers thought he was
Davis
gonna
went
play.
in and out of the game 3 times, and
He
Bruce
said
like,
he was
he's
gonna
not
play.
going to play. He doesn't even know if he's good in halftime. They won by 34, and you guys were like, well, I don't know. Trade deadline stuff. Instead of saying wild.
I'll give you a few props. Now you're a little bit over
Thank you,
boisterous,
bro.
but I'll
Exactly.
give you a little bit of props. For that.
calling
a 34-point victory.
You were way too much into it last night. Though. The Garden was hopping, and you're look at Dylan. What is Dylan doing? Golly, it was embarrassing.
I'll give you credit for picking the right winner, but the Dylan Brooks stuff I give you no credit for. None.
Frisky Rockets are on a 4-game winning streak.
They are frisky. I'll give you that. And
If
I
the Rockets
like
were wearing Lakers uniform, they would be A1 every day. Meanwhile, in Brooklyn, the Clippers' James Harden experiment has produced 0 wins. In fact, in a team stacked with scorers, the Clippers have yet to crack 100 points since Harden joined the squad. Last night, they lost 100-93. After the game, Harden said, quote, "I'm just trying to wiggle my way, you know what I mean? Trying to figure it out. It's okay, 2 games, I'll figure it out. I just want to win, so it doesn't matter about the points or whatever stats. I just want to win games for my 4th team that I demand." No, I have 15. Okay, so the question is.
What's the question?
Sorry, I started counting Harden's teams. Clippers losing streak, something or nothing.
Listen, it's something. Right now, if I had to bet even money either side, I'd say the Clippers don't make the real playoffs.
Well, but
I mean, I think they maybe. I do not think the Clippers will be in the playoffs. The playoffs, when there's 8 teams in each conference and it's best of 7, when that thing begins, I do not think the Clippers make it.
Yikes.
Right now, they're not good. They're not good. It doesn't fit. Like the offense is not supposed to be the problem with this unit. They sacrificed defensive depth. Now, last night, I guess defense was fine, but the offense couldn't get going. I don't think the Russ-Harden pairing will work, and I think you sacrificed what could have been the best version of Russ when you brought in Harden. And I'm just looking at the West. Teams that I am firmly confident are better than the Clippers when the Clippers are healthy, by the way, and they're the biggest
they might be best when they're not healthy.
Right, they're the biggest health risk in the league. Denver, Golden State, Dallas, Phoenix, OKC, and I got to give them credit, Minnesota.
Yep.
So that's 6.
Definitely.
That are definitely better than them. That's 6. And then you have the Lakers, who, while I think are disappointing, I think are likely to stabilize, especially once they get healthy. They're also health risks. The Kings and the Pelicans. Well, and the Kings right now, Kings aren't playing well. De'Aaron Fox has been hurt. I just don't think this is going to work. And I like Ty Lue, and I believe in Ty Lue, but I think this is a poorly constructed, mismatched team.
Yikes.
And I don't think Harden all of a sudden is going to come in and fix it. No.
Speaking of Ty Lue, look at this quote from last night. He said the team was passive for the 2nd straight game. So here's the rest of his quote. Just trying to find those guys, don't step on each other's toes. They got to be themselves. That's the biggest thing. That's the biggest message. Be who you are, and if you're doing too much, we'll let you know. Sounds good, and I, like you, am a fan of Ty Lue. There's no way they can be themselves. The thought of all 4 of them being themselves just hurts my head. It brings chaos to mind because all of them except Paul George, I'm talking Westbrook, Harden, Kawhi, have been at their best being ball dominant.
Yep.
Kawhi in San Antonio before he left Pop had changed things where it was in Kawhi's hands.
And in Toronto,
obviously, and they won the championship, but he was at his best with the ball in his hands. Obviously, Harden. Obviously, Westbrook.
Yes.
So that's the problem. They can't be themselves. Look at this video of James Harden getting an open three in the corner. Wide open, but no. He has to dribble and step back.
And he did that multiple times,
because that's what he does.
Yeah.
He's not comfortable just catching and shooting. So Ty Lue said we're going to put Russ on the ball as the point, and Harden's going to be off it.
Good luck.
Well, Russ can do a great job of drawing traffic, kicking it out to Harden, and Harden's going to do his little step back, get in rhythm, and that's going to give a defender time to make it a tough shot. So they just don't fit. Look, it's hard to fit 3 superstars together. 4? That do
guys,
most of the same stuff?
4, and right now the guy who's might be the best player in 2023 is the only one who either isn't a league MVP or a finals MVP.
Yep.
And so it's a weird spot where none of these guys, in my opinion, right now are actually superstars. But 3 of them have been unquestionably in their career, and then the one who hasn't is the guy who's probably the best guy.
Right.
Quickly, Clippers this season with the big 4 on the floor, 2 games, only 43 minutes, but would be last in field goal percentage, 3-point percentage, and offense.
And I think the offense will get better, but I also think the defense is going to be, and they're going to be without the Plumlee brother for a couple months.
Ty Lue is going to have to make the tough decision, I think, to move Russ to the bench. It's going to be tough.
It's not going to. Okay.
It's going to mess up.
At Dallas, they'll lose. Home against Memphis, they'll win, and then at Denver. So tricky.
That's the other thing. Their schedule hasn't been that tough. I mean, I think they're in real trouble.
Check in on Harden's old team.
Well, I mean, obvious shots fired at Harden, but he deserves to do it.
Wow.
All right, right now, this moment, I think Philly's the best team in the East. Today, I think they're the best team because Milwaukee, to me, it has some work to do, particularly on the defensive end. And Boston, I'm not even baking in yet what I think is the more likely than not that Porzingis misses time. The idea behind Boston has been, okay, our best player is not quite the MVP level guy that the Sixers or the Bucks or the Nuggets best player is, but our depth and the rest of our starting 5 is. Well, Jaylen Brown hadn't been great. And they're finding their footing elsewhere. And we just saw their best player being Tatum. And I should have mentioned that. And here's why I think Philly should be incredibly pleased about where they're at. It's twofold. One is they truly put out, before it really started blazing, the fire with Embiid. Is going to be unhappy, the heart. They handled that, and they're winning. And the other is Boston fired its bullet in the Holiday trade. Smart, by the way. Great trade. But they don't have any other. This is going to essentially be their team. Milwaukee obviously did the same thing with Dame. Philly acquired ammunition in the Harden trade and is yet to shoot their gun. So I think Philly could improve via player acquisition in a way those other teams can't. And I think right now, this moment, they've been the best team. And so I think they're in really, really good position.
Look, they beat Boston last night. That's fair for you to say that. I still think Boston right now is the best team because, as you said, Milwaukee, they have to do some work. But you guys know, I was saying a month ago before Harden was traded that I think Philly can be just as good without him as they could with him. Because I saw Tyrese Maxey, everybody saw that he could do this. Nobody's shocked at that. Tobias Harris is a great number 3. He's a great third player. You don't have to run a ton of plays for him. If you do, he can produce.
Oubre's really good.
And Oubre, look at Oubre's history. He can score. I mean, he's a 4th scorer. That's fine. He can sustain this. And then they have a good group of role players. They probably need to improve that, so they might make a move later on. Nick Nurse has done a great job.
That's the other point.
They're playing faster than they did last year. The defense is still good. It was good under Doc. It's still good now. But offensively, it's an equal opportunity offense. And even though Harden understood Embiid's the number 1, everybody knew that, it was still a little tension does Harden want to do more?
He 100%
does he want to score more? And now that doesn't exist. Maxey is obviously Joel's the guy.
Yes.
They look good.
You said no one's shocked by Maxey, how good he is, but this graphic that Josh made shocked me. I didn't think they were going to be the number 1 scoring duo.
Well,
like that's still. I mean, I know it's a young season and everything. It's pretty good, and Embiid handles the bulk of it. But still, I thought that was very impressive.
No, it's wildly impressive. I agree with you. I don't think people thought Maxey was going to average high 20s or mid 20s, mid to high 20s, which is what he's doing. So he's overachieved. But the point you made, you kind of mixed in there, Brew, that I think is a very important one. I still do not trust Joe Mazzulla. I have no idea about Adrian Griffin. He's a rookie head coach.
Why?
Remember, Mazzulla got a lot of help on his staff now that
I understand.
Didn't have last
I get that, but I was not impressed by Joe Mazzulla as a coach in his first year. We were talking about whether he was going to get fired if they lost in round.
His first year.
I get it. I'm just saying I do. Adrian Griffin, every rookie head coach, I did this with Ham. I do that. Any rookie head coach is a total unknown, certainly 8 games in. Nick Nurse is awesome. Nick Nurse is the best coach I believe Joel Embiid's ever had. So if we're talking about could Embiid reach another level, which he needs to late in the year?
If he could.
Yes, I mean, Nick Nurse, I think they clearly have the best coach amongst the contenders in the East. I truly believe that.
Okay, finally head to the Garden where Broussard, Nick, and I watched Wemby airball 2 shots in the first half, get frozen out of possessions by his own team, and then finally listen to chants of overrated from the crowd. Brew, at times you looked physically ill.
Yeah, he did.
When Wemby wasn't getting the ball.
And my wife was making fun of him. It was like, that's your king.
He's like,
She was like, it was like somebody who had not heard anything about Wembanyama and thinking, this is the guy that everybody's raving over.
What's your reaction 20 hours later?
I mean, it was underwhelming. We were all disappointed. I mean, we wanted to go there and see him put on the show. I said on the show, I'm hoping, but I had a feeling that he wouldn't do it. And look, since he scored 38 against Phoenix, he has not looked the same. And he played well in the first quarter of the next game. I think it was Toronto. But since then, I don't know if because it's not just the physicality that could be wearing on him. Mentally, like, he's the toast of every town he goes to. Maybe the hype is getting to him a little. Maybe. He still had, in a bad game, 14 and 8. And they don't look the lack of a true point guard. They don't give him the ball, and they don't give him the ball in the right places.
Well, I don't know if he's always in the right places.
Well, he's moving all over. Sometimes he brings it up. Sometimes he's
in the corner,
in posting. Sometimes he's on the wing, the corner.
He also didn't seem hesitant to just rise up and shoot over people unless it was a three.
Well, first he came out.
Right, but what I'm saying it seemed like when he would get the ball, I'd be like, well, isn't part of the idea like you can just shoot over? You don't need to get open. You just shoot over people. And he was trying to get open. He
gave it up.
He had a really tough game. So I want to play our game again.
Oh!
Real quick, this is a short one. And remember, last time it crescendoed with Brew maybe being a little high on the Wemby supply.
We went crazy last time.
Taking Victor Wembanyama for this year over Kevin Durant.
But you said you take him over Jalen.
Over Jalen Brown.
Brown.
Okay, I was listening.
You were just as high as I.
You definitively took him over Kevin Durant. I just want to know, we've got a shorter one.
Did I take him?
So, yeah, that's how it ended, because he had just beaten Durant. All right. The game is this year and this year only. This was a joke last time.
Now
it's
joke
serious.
now.
No,
it's a joke now.
For this year and this year
I'm
only.
going to tell you why. Where are they going with Şengün?
What?
Where are they going?
The playoffs.
Really?
Well,
you sure of that?
No, it's not sure of that.
I can break out my Şengün
So
stats.
my point is this:
it's gonna be an opportunity.
if Şengün reaches his potential this year, they're still
but just
maybe cracking the top 8. Wemby? Oh, Wemby, easy.
Can I say something about Şengün to Şengün?
And I like Şengün.
There's
I like
never a point where you're watching Şengün and you're like, I don't know if he's got it. His bag is, he's like Santa out there.
You actually think Wemby doesn't have it?
Well, no, not.
We watched the game
maybe
last
doesn't have
night.
it yet.
He had a bad
Hold on,
game.
can we move on to the next guy?
Well, you can't push
for
Şengün.
this year and this year only.
Get the librarian off.
This year and this year only.
Chet is playing well. And let me just say this. Let me say this about Chet. Wemby stole all Chet's thunder. Right? And Chet wasn't as hyped as Wemby, but he was hyped. And it was because of the same reasons for Wemby. Oh, he's 7'3", he does this, he does that.
Yeah.
Give me Wemby. I'm going out. Give me Wemby. I'm a Wemby guy.
Remember that? Giddy giving him the ball, got SGA. Wemby.
Yeah, Wemby could use that. Somebody giving him the rock in the right place.
All right, last one.
You're taking a shot at
No,
Shaq.
I'm not taking a shot.
You are taking a shot at Shaq.
I am not taking a shot at Shaq. Shaq
witness this.
Yeah, last night was your moment. Shaq last night, or Shaq last night should have tweeted out a Bol highlight to say, told you. I've got Shaq's back.
Shout out to God, Sham God, too.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.